Now, on your star chart, this is the most important part for today. The section titled area, I need everybody paying attention because this is what matters. The section titled area is the section of formulas that we learned from probably 2nd grade to 7th grade. They are how you find big B in an 8th grade formula. So if you look down here at this formula, pH plus 2B, when you see this B, you know that you have to come to this section to solve for the area of that base. Does everybody understand what this section is for? All right, and then for circle, halfway through is radius, all the way through is diameter. We change volume of a cylinder to pi r squared h and volume of a cone to 1/3 pi r squared h. For Pythagorean theorem, we do distance, length, and what else? Diagonal. And then simple interest solves for interest, or compound interest solves for total. Bless you. All right, so this is the section that we're working on today. We've already learned it, but we're going to be finding the surface area of prisms and cylinders. The surface area of prisms. Okay, so if you would just look under the screen, this is a cylinder. A cylinder has two circular bases that are identical. You'll see that the sizes are identical. And then in the middle, it's just kind of like a tube. Everybody good with cylinder, right? Now, prism is what confuses everybody because there's two types of prisms. There is a rectangular prism. Why is it called a rectangular prism? The bases are rectangles, and a prism means all the other shapes are rectangles. So a rectangular prism is literally made up of a whole bunch of rectangles. But a triangular prism still has what type of shape? It still has rectangles because it's called a prism, and a prism has rectangles. But its bases are triangles. Do y'all see the difference? So why are they both called prisms? Because the sides are rectangles. The first name tells you the name of the base. This one is a rectangular prism because the base is a rectangle. This one is a triangular prism because the base is a triangle. But they are still both prisms, and so the formulas for them are the same. Are we good? All right, so let's refresh our memory. Go to your notes on how to solve for surface area. We are only going to do 3 examples, and then you're going to be on your own. And I say let's start with the last one. It's a cylinder. It's the easiest. So everybody go to the last example that says cylinder. Go to your star chart, and there are 2 formulas. Do y'all see them? One is lateral, and one is total. Do y'all remember the difference? Lateral means part way around it, and total means all the way around it. So everybody look at this cylinder. If I wanted lateral, I would only wrap the sides, like a can of soup. Y'all know how they label just the sides? But if I want total, I'd wrap the whole thing like it's a Christmas present. Okay? So you're just looking for the word lateral or total. Let's go ahead and do total. So here is your formula. That's all you would do is write that formula down. So everybody write it down. 2 pi RH plus 2 pi r squared. Where did I get that formula from? It's on your star chart in front of you if you can't see it. 2 pi RH plus 2 pi r squared. This is one of the easiest formulas to do. All right, to do this formula, I need a radius. What else do I need? And I need a height. All right. Did they give me a radius halfway through the circle? Yes or no? They gave me a, so what do I do to this 16? Which is 8. So my radius is 8. My height is 21. And now I just plug those numbers into the formula. So I'm doing 2 times pi times my radius, which is 8, times my height, which is 21, plus 2 times pi times my radius squared. And that is it. That is that easy. You stick it in your calculator, and that will be your answer. $1,457 point, and that would pretty much round to 70. And rounding won't matter for you on these because it will be multiple choice. You will just pick the closest answer. Okay, any questions on cylinders? The next shape we're going to do is a rectangular prism. So this is a prism, but in specific, it's a rectangular prism. So where would I go to my star chart? Surface area, and find, come on guys, and find what? Prism. So here is my formula right here. Now, if it said lateral, then I would just do pH. If it said total, then I do the whole thing. All right, so we wrote the formula, and y'all notice that I already wrote the formula for you. Okay, so the formula is pH plus 2B. Do you see that I separated the pieces of the formula out because I have to solve for each piece? Do y'all understand that? I have to solve for the P, the H, and the B. All right, which one did I tell you to get first and write it down and mark it out? The height. Which one of these numbers is the height? 6. Once you write it down, what do? You will never use it again. You don't even want to see it. Okay, now what does P mean? Perimeter. If you need to write that down, write it down. Perimeter of the base only. So this is now a second grade question because second graders find perimeter of rectangles. So if I was to see this base down here, if I was to draw it by itself, it would look like this. And y'all remember this in second and third grade when you were learning to add? That's how it looked. It said find the perimeter, and what would they do? 3 plus 3 plus 2 plus 2. That's what perimeter is. It's just looking at that base by itself and adding all the sides. So 3 plus 3 is 6, 2 plus 2 is 4, and 6 plus 4 is 10. Are we all good with P? What does big B mean? Area of the base. Now, go back to your star chart. This is why we put a big B right here. Because when you have a big B in your formula, it means you have to use one of these. Now, for rectangle, I don't like base times height. I like length times width because that's what was taught to me in 3rd and 4th grade. If you like base times height, that's fine. It means the same thing. Okay? So, since I have a rectangle base, I'm going to multiply the length times the width. So what's 3 times 2? Finding each piece is 2nd, 3rd, and 4th grade. Plugging it back into this formula is 8th grade. Are we good? What does the formula say to do? P times H. What does it say to do? Look, what does it say right here? P times H plus 2 times B. Well, did I find the P, H, and B? Yes, so I just plug it in. The P was 10 times the H, which was 6, plus 2 times my B, which was 6. Once I plug that into my calculator, I'm done. And that's my answer. 72, and surface area is always given in like inches squared, centimeters squared, stuff like that. I'm going to say it again. The perimeter is second grade. You add the sides of the base. The B is the area of the base, and that's third, fourth grade, and then triangles are sixth grade. All right. Any questions on rectangular prisms? Now let's go to our last shape, which is called a triangular prism. So the formula stays the same because it's still a prism. Yes? So here's my triangular prism. If I stand this up, do y'all see how tall it is? It's this tall, from triangle to triangle. If I lay it down, is it still the same height? Yes. This prism is laying down. So if I was to stand it up on its triangle base, how tall would it be standing? Not 12. Okay, the triangle is its base. 14. I'm going to say it again. So everybody look at the board real quick. Do y'all see this? If the base is the triangle, if I sit it like this, it's on its side. This is still the height from here to here. That's standing it up tall. Okay? So this is my height. Once I write it down, what do? Mark it out. I will never, ever use it again. Now we go back to second grade and we find the perimeter of the base. Well, the base is A. How many sides am I going to add? I can only add 3, but they gave me 4 numbers. What 3 sides make this triangle? 13. 13. So this 12, y'all agree it's not part of the perimeter, right? So I'm going to do 13 plus 13, which is 26, plus 10, which is 36. Now, that's the easiest part. This is the part that throws kids off, and I don't understand why, because it's 6th grade. What does big B mean? Area of the, well, what type of base do you have? Okay, everybody look at your surface, at your area section at triangle. What's the formula? 1/2 base times height. Does your calculator do 1/2? Yeah, so you write that down. 1/2 base times height. Does anybody remember how I told you to get the 2 numbers for the base times height? Find the what? What is this thing called right here? Find the right angle. What 2 numbers are making that right angle? 10 and 12. So you're going to do 1/2 times 10 times 12. Do y'all understand how that works? All you have to do is find the right angle. Okay, so here we go. 1/2, so alpha y equals, tab out, times 10 times 12, and I get 60. That was not that hard. That was 6th grade. Now I plug them into my calculator. P times H plus 2 times B. So 36 times 14 plus 2 times 60. And that's my answer, 624 millimeters squared. Now, on your assignment today and on the STAR test, it will either say lateral surface area, and then you just need a P and an H, or total surface area, then you need a PH and a B. So does everybody see, for lateral surface area for prism, it's just the P and the H. It's the easiest one because it's just the perimeter and then the height. Okay, so make sure you read carefully. Now, do y'all remember what I told y'all before last week? I said, moving forward, we're not going to get paper copies because your STAR test is online, right? So you're going to turn your notes over and you're going to show your work on the back. So for example, number 1, I would write number 1 right here. And I would show my work. Okay, so I'm going to go drop your assignment